Okay, let's unpack this. The world of artificial intelligence, I mean, it moves at an astonishing pace, doesn't it?
It really does. Blink and you miss something major.
Yeah, it feels like just yesterday, the absolute peak of AI skill was all about crafting that single perfect prompt, that magic string of words to get the AI to do exactly what you wanted.
Uh-huh. The prompt was king.
But as these AI models have grown, well, exponentially more sophisticated,
Hmm.
especially when we talk about complex enterprise workflows, that whole game has fundamentally changed.
Absolutely. And the crucial new skill that's emerging, particularly for modern AI development with these powerful large language models, it isn't just about tweaking a prompt anymore.
Right.
We're talking about something called context engineering. And honestly, it's completely transforming how we build genuinely intelligent, autonomous systems. This isn't some minor update. It's a really foundational shift in how we design AI for real-world enterprise automation. So look, whether you're already a prompt engineer, maybe an AI product manager, or a tech leader thinking about your company's AI strategy, understanding this evolution, it's pretty much non-negotiable now for staying ahead.
Exactly. So our mission today is to really explore what this context engineering thing actually entails.
Mhm.
How is it really different from traditional prompt engineering?
Yeah.
Why has it become so critical for the kind of intricate enterprise AI applications we see now? And maybe most importantly, how can you start building this indispensable skill? Here's
Yeah.
where it gets really interesting. Let's
Yeah.
try and define this architectural game changer.
Okay. So at its heart, context engineering is, well, it's both an art and a science. It's about meticulously curating and managing all the information and tools that you provide to an AI model.
All of it, not just the question.
All of it. It's not just the immediate input. It's about building this comprehensive environment around the AI, making sure it has everything it needs to understand, to process, and then to effectively execute these complex tasks.
Yeah.
Think of it less like just feeding the AI data and more like building it a personalized, dynamic little world where it can actually function properly. It tackles that fundamental problem where AI often seems to, forget or misunderstand its environment beyond that one single interaction.
Right. So unlike prompt engineering, which felt very focused on optimizing that one single sort of atomic input to get the best immediate response, context engineering takes this much broader, almost like a panoramic view. It covers everything the model sees or has access to before it even starts generating a response.
Yeah,
It's the whole intellectual ecosystem around the prompt, not just the prompt itself.
that's precisely it. Toby Lutke, the CEO of Shopify, he put it really well. He said it's about providing all the context for the task to be plausible solvable by the LLM.
Plausibly solvable. I like that.
Yeah. It implies this shift, right? From
Yeah.
just instructing the AI to intelligently preparing its entire working environment.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about this whole context ecosystem, what are the core components? What are the actual pieces we need to provide to build this environment?
Yeah, good question. We can break it down into maybe 4 critical layers. First, you've got system prompts.
Okay.
These are the initial kind of overarching instructions. They define the model's behavior, its role, maybe its tone, or specific rules it has to follow. They act like the AI's foundational programming, setting the stage for every interaction after that.
Ah.
It's often overlooked, honestly, but a really well-crafted system prompt can radically change an AI's whole persona and its reliability.
So it's not just be helpful. It might be something really specific like you are a senior financial analyst, your meticulous objective, and your main goal is spotting discrepancies in quarterly reports.
Right.
That says a completely different stage.
Exactly right. Then the second layer is retrieved information.
Retrieved info, like looking things up.
Precisely. This is dynamic data pulled from outside sources. Think your company databases, knowledge bases, maybe real-time APIs. It provides the relevant, up-to-date background knowledge the AI needs for specific queries or tasks.
Right.
This is where the AI moves beyond just its initial training data and gets access to your proprietary current information.
Okay, so if I'm a customer support bot, and a user asks about their specific order, this is where the system goes. Okay, pull up this customer's order, history, and delivery status from the CRM right now.
Exactly. That's the retrieved context. Third, there's memory.
Memory. Okay, that sounds crucial.
It is. This refers to persistent storage. It holds past interactions or the history of an ongoing task. It's what allows the model to maintain continuity, coherence across multiple turns in a conversation or through some long-running multi-step process. Without memory, every single interaction would be like starting completely fresh for the AI. Groundhog Day.
Yeah, like when you're chatting with a sales assistant online, and it actually remembers the products you were looking at 5 minutes ago or even yesterday. That's a huge leap in user experience.
It truly is. And then finally, the fourth layer, tools and APIs.
Tools. So it can do things.
Exactly. These are external functions or services that the model can actively use to execute tasks. This is where the AI stops being just a text generator and becomes an actual agent.
Yeah.
It could be anything, really. Performing complex calculations, retrieving real-time stock data, maybe interacting directly with an enterprise resource planning system, an ERP, or even just sending a notification to a human colleague.
Wow, that brings it all together. Okay, to really help us wrap our heads around this, could you walk us through a real-world scenario? Maybe one where all these pieces, the system prompt, retrieve info, memory, tools, they all interlock to make an AI genuinely intelligent in an enterprise setting.
Certainly. Let's imagine an advanced customer support agent operating inside a large company. Context engineering here means providing that AI agent with, first, the user's entire conversation history, that's its memory.
Sure.
It also has access to your company's comprehensive knowledge base, product specs, that's the retrieved information.
Right.
It adheres strictly to brand guidelines, escalation procedures, that's its system prompt.
Got it.
And crucially, it has tools to query your CRM system for specific customer details, maybe process a return authorization, or even create a support ticket directly in the system that's its API access. This holistic approach ensures the AI has all the necessary understanding. It can maintain coherence across the whole interaction, produce accurate, personalized answers, and actually resolve complex customer issues. It moves way beyond just answering single questions to actively managing that customer relationship.
That's a fantastic illustration. It really highlights how much more complex and frankly capable these systems are becoming. They're turning into real partners in enterprise automation.
They really are.
Which brings us to a critical question. Given how powerful this context engineering sounds, what exactly were the limitations of just prompt engineering that made this bigger, more architectural approach so necessary for modern AI workflows?
That's a great way to frame it. You know, in the early days, like we said, a perfectly crafted prompt might have been enough for a simple Q&A.
Yeah.
But modern AI systems, especially in enterprise, they're designed as multi-turn, memory-capable agents. They need to handle incredibly complex ongoing tasks. And the limitations of just isolated prompting become, well, glaringly obvious pretty quickly.
Okay, like what?
Well, first, think about multi-step reasoning. AI agents often need to perform a whole sequence of interconnected tasks, not just one.
Right.
Imagine analyzing large data sets, then generating detailed reports from that analysis, and then maybe drafting and sending notifications based on what's in those reports. A single prompt just cannot encapsulate that level of complexity. It can't instruct the AI through multiple logical steps while holding on to the context across all of them.
All right, it's not just summarize this. It's summarize this text. Now pull out the key financial figures. Okay, now compare those figures to last quarter's performance data you need to pull from the ERP system, and then flag any big discrepancies for Susan in accounting. That's a whole different league.
Exactly. That's a workflow, not a prompt. Second, we have autonomous systems. These AI agents, ideally, need to operate independently. They need to make decisions based on ongoing, dynamic context, not just a static instruction given at the start. For them to be truly autonomous and adaptive in a real-world business environment, they absolutely require persistent memory and external tools so they can interact with their environment and continuously adjust what they're doing.
So an agent managing, say, a supply chain disruption needs to react to new information as it comes in, like a sudden shipping delay alert, not just follow some preset script. It needs to actively pull in that new context.
Precisely. It needs to sense and respond. Third, context-driven memory architectures are now pretty central to how these things work. Techniques like retrieval augmented generation, you've probably heard it called RAG.
RAG, yeah, I've seen that everywhere.
Right. And things like episodic memory allow the AI to dynamically pull vast amounts of external, often very up-to-date information into its immediate working memory before it generates a response. This is huge because it grounds the AI's output in actual facts. It helps prevent the AI from hallucinating or just making things up.
Which is a massive problem, especially in business settings where accuracy is paramount.
A common and potentially very costly challenge, yes. So effectively managing this fluid, retrieved context is really the secret sauce.
You know, this sounds a lot like what Andrej Karpathy, the well-known AI researcher, talked about. He likened large language models to operating systems, right? And their context window acts like the model's RAM.
That's a perfect analogy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So if it's like RAM, what are the common memory leaks or the ways people mismanage that context window that lead to the performance problems you mentioned?
That's a critical question, and the RAM analogy holds up well. The memory leaks or failures often come from a few places,
Hmm.
either providing too little context, which forces the AI to guess or hallucinate,
Right.
or providing too much irrelevant context, which basically clogs up its RAM, confuses it, and degrades performance.
Right, noise.
Exactly. Or, and this is common, failing to update the context dynamically as the conversation or the task evolves. This leads to the AI losing track, maybe repeating itself, or giving you outdated information because its memory hasn't caught up.
I see.
And this brings us to a really, really key insight for anyone building or deploying enterprise AI. Most failures you see in AI agents today, and they're not usually because the underlying AI model itself isn't smart enough. More often than not, they're due to inadequate context. Insights from, major AI development frameworks like LangChain really bear this out. If an agent isn't performing reliably, the root cause is almost always that the right context, the right instructions, the right tools, they simply haven't been properly communicated or made available to the model when it needed them. It's fundamentally a context problem, not necessarily a model capability problem.
Wow. That's a huge takeaway for enterprise decision makers and developers listening. It's not the brain that's failing. It's the quality and the management of the information that's being given.
Precisely.
That really shines a light then on where context engineering makes its biggest impact. These real-world enterprise applications that absolutely demand reliability and precision.
Absolutely. Context engineering truly, truly shines in those scenarios where AI needs to handle complex, ongoing tasks for businesses. It drives tangible automation and efficiency gains. Take customer support agents, for instance.
Yeah, the example from before.
Right. By maintaining that comprehensive conversation history, memory, and accessing deep product knowledge bases, retrieved info, the AI can provide far more accurate, personalized, and honestly seamless resolutions. If a user mentions a previous issue or some specific product detail, the AI can instantly retrieve that context and offer a consistent, informed experience. This significantly improves customer satisfaction, reduces frustration, and boosts operational efficiency for the support team.
So no more explaining your problem for the fifth time to a new bot every time you interact. That is a massive win for customer experience, and I imagine it cuts down agent workload too.
Exactly. Another really powerful application is with financial report generators.
Okay.
By integrating real-time data feeds, historical financial records, specific company models, the AI can generate comprehensive, accurate reports that are tailored to very specific business needs. This ensures not just accuracy, but deep relevance. It helps decision makers get the insights they actually need much faster for strategic planning.
That feels like it moves beyond just, pretty data visualization into actual intelligent analysis and automated reporting. What about maybe creative fields or complex data pipelines? Does it apply there too?
Oh, definitely. In creative fields, think of design assistants. By understanding the project requirements, user preferences, maybe even looking at past design iterations over time, the AI can offer far more relevant suggestions. It can help streamline the creative process, accelerate design cycles, basically help get from idea to final product much faster.
Interesting.
And then you mentioned multimodal pipelines. This is increasingly important. It's about managing context across different types of data, text, images, audio, video. Context engineering ensures the AI can effectively process and integrate information from all these various sources. This is vital for tasks like comprehensive content creation, advanced data analysis that needs to pull insights from diverse media, or even sophisticated security monitoring systems that analyze video and sensor data together.
This really does transform AI. It goes from being just a tool you use for isolated queries into an intelligent assistant that adapts to ongoing tasks and deeply understands user needs over time. It's about AI becoming a genuine partner in these complex enterprise workflows, driving a whole new era of automation.
It really is. And these capabilities are precisely why platforms specializing in, say, private AI agents for enterprises are focusing so heavily on context engineering. Their goal is to let businesses build AI solutions that integrate seamlessly with their existing systems, enhancing automation and elevating customer experiences by providing an AI that's deeply aware of its specific operational environment.
That's a fantastic illustration of the power behind this shift. Okay, so for those listening who are thinking, all right, I'm ready to dive in, I want to implement this in my organization, it sounds like there needs to be a structured approach, right? How do we actually design good context for these intelligent agents?
Yes, there is a pretty robust framework you can follow for good context design. It generally involves 5 key steps. First, you need to identify necessary context.
Okay, step one.
This means clearly figuring out what specific information the AI truly needs to perform a given task successfully. You've got to consider things like user profiles, task histories, any domain-specific knowledge it needs, relevant data points, anything critical for success. The key here is precision. Don't just throw the kitchen sink at it. Be specific about what's genuinely helpful.
Right. So if it's that AI sales assistant again, it definitely needs customer purchase history, product catalogs, maybe current promotions, but probably not the company's internal cafeteria menu for next week.
Exactly. Be relevant. Second step, source context.
Source it. Where do you get it from?
Right. This means deciding where you're going to obtain that information you just identified. Common sources are your existing enterprise databases, maybe external APIs, user inputs gathered directly from conversations, or even pre-trained knowledge graphs that might be specific to your industry or contain proprietary data. The key is reliable, up-to-date access to those sources.
Okay, so you've identified what you need. You know where to get it. How do you actually get it to the AI in a way it can use? Because raw data in one format might just be, well, gibberish to the model.
That's the crucial third step. Format context.
Yeah.
You have to present the context in a structure that AI can easily understand and process. This might involve using structured formats like JSON, especially for data, or sometimes carefully organized natural language descriptions. It depends on the task and the specific model you're using. But the clearer and more consistent the format, the better the AI can actually utilize it, and you avoid misinterpretations. And, this is where prompt engineering in its refined form still plays a really vital role within the larger context engineering framework. You're still crafting clear instructions.
Okay, so you're still writing clear, concise instructions or prompts, but now you're also carefully structuring the data it receives alongside those instructions.
Precisely. They work together. Now, the fourth step is also critical. Manage context scope.
Scope. Like how much context?
Exactly. You have to be mindful of the model's context window limitations. That's the maximum amount of information an AI can process at any single time.
Right, the RAN limit we talked about.
Exactly. This requires prioritizing the most relevant information. You might need to use techniques like summarization or breaking long documents into smaller chunks, or even dynamically filtering the context to ensure you're providing just what's needed right now without overloading the model and hurting its performance. Sometimes less is more if it's the right less.
Okay, so condense it if it's too much, or break it into digestible, relevant pieces. It's about efficiency, not just dumping everything in there.
Yes, efficiency and relevance. And finally, the fifth step is to persist context.
Persist. Make it stick around.
Make it stick around. Yes. Use memory mechanisms. Things like vector databases or simpler key value stores are common. They retain important information across different interactions or sessions. This is absolutely crucial for maintaining continuity in those multi-turn conversations we discussed, or for long-term projects, or really any complex ongoing task where the AI needs to remember what happened previously.
Vector databases.
Yeah.
You hear that term a lot now with AI memory. Why are they so important here?
They're particularly powerful for context persistence because they don't just store text like a regular database. They store information based on its meaning or semantic relationship to other information. They use vector embeddings.
Okay.
This means when the AI needs some context, it can perform what's called a semantic search. It finds the most relevant piece of information, even if the exact keywords aren't used in the query. It understands the underlying concept. This makes the AI's memory far more intelligent and efficient, rather than just doing simple keyword matching. And this capability is really foundational for building scalable, reliable enterprise automation.
That's fascinating. It really elevates the whole idea of AI memory from just simple recall to a much more sophisticated understanding-based retrieval.
Okay, so for those of you listening who are maybe feeling inspired, ready to transition perhaps from traditional prompt engineering and really embrace context engineering, what are the practical steps? How can you actually start developing this skill for your own enterprise AI initiatives?
Right, getting practical to start building this skill, which I really do think is indispensable now. First, learn about AI agents.
Yeah.
You need to really understand how these autonomous systems work. What's their architecture? What's the fundamental role context plays in how they operate? Reading documentation from leading AI frameworks or checking out research papers are excellent starting points to get a solid grasp on the basics. Don't just know what they are, try to understand how they're designed to think and act.
Okay, so understand the architecture, the decision-making loops, how information flows through the whole system. Exactly. Second, and this is key, experiment with tools. You have to get hands-on. Use platforms and frameworks specifically designed for building AI agents. Try out different context management strategies. Many platforms now offer no-code or low-code options, which really simplify creating quite sophisticated AI agents. This makes it much easier to dive in and experiment with context engineering without needing to be a hardcore coder first. Practical application is where you really learn.
That sounds like a great way to accelerate learning, especially for folks in enterprise environments who often need rapid prototyping and deployment capabilities. Get something working quickly.
Absolutely. Third, study real-world examples. Go look for case studies. Read blog posts from companies that are really at the forefront of this agentic AI development. See how they approach things like AI agent scaffolding, how they're leveraging technologies like vector databases for dynamic context retrieval. Learning from others' successes and, frankly, their challenges too provides invaluable practical lessons.
Yeah, learning from actual deployments, what worked, what didn't. That's always a shortcut to expertise, isn't it?
It really is. Fourth, join communities. Get involved. Participate in online forums, maybe Slack channels, attend webinars, engage with other AI professionals. This is how you stay updated on the latest trends, the best practices, the innovative solutions that are popping up constantly in this rapidly evolving AI landscape. The collective intelligence you can tap into in these communities is immense.
Networking and staying current.
Yeah,
Essential in any fast-moving tech field, especially AI right now.
for sure. And finally, number 5. Build small projects. Don't try to boil the ocean and build the next, world-changing AI model overnight. Start simply. Maybe build a chatbot that has some basic memory, or an AI assistant that can retrieve specific information from a simple internal database. Then, gradually scale up. Tackle more complex multi-agent systems as your skills and your understanding grow. Practical application, starting small, and iterating, that's the best teacher for mastering this. So just to summarize our deep dive today, as these AI systems keep getting more advanced and more deeply woven into core enterprise operations, the ability to effectively engineer their contexts, that's going to be the key differentiator. It'll separate the AI implementations that truly succeed from those that kind of fall short. It's really no longer just about asking the right question anymore.
No.
It's about providing the AI with the complete dynamic environment it needs to genuinely understand, to act effectively, and to perform reliably.
And that's precisely why context engineering isn't just some technical skill buried in the engineering department. It's a profound strategic capability for businesses. It's literally going to define how intelligent systems behave in the future, particularly for driving real enterprise automation and delivering truly smart, adaptive solutions that go way beyond simple task execution.
Absolutely. By mastering this skill, you, the people listening, can build more robust, more intelligent, and ultimately more scalable AI systems. Systems that don't just meet, but can actually far exceed the demanding requirements of tomorrow's complex enterprise applications. We genuinely encourage you to start exploring the possibilities of context engineering. See firsthand how it can fundamentally transform your AI projects, moving them from being mere tools into powerful autonomous agents that deliver real value.
So what does this all mean for you and your organization? Well, it means rethinking how you design and deploy AI systems. It means moving beyond just focusing on the prompt and strategically embracing this future of agentic AI development. For more insights, more resources on building these kinds of robust, often private AI agents specifically for enterprise needs, definitely explore the cutting-edge work being done in the agentic AI space. There are platforms emerging designed exactly for this. Thank you for diving deep with us today.